What is going on there, YouTube? Nerdy Vapor. This is going to be the follow-up, somewhat follow-up to the RDNA VaporShark. Uh, Mainly, what I'm going to do on this video is just give you a pros and cons, um, what I kind of rate it through everything. Give you a little bit more. I'm hoping the lighting's a little bit better. I try to move some stuff around. I'm still using my cell phone camera, but we'll get better at that. So first things first, I want to say thank you very much. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from my very first video, which that's awesome. I can't believe that. A lot of subscribers that I was surprised about, a lot of views, a lot of thumbs up. So I want to thank you all very, very much. The constructive criticism, keep it coming. Anything that can make me do better, I want to know about it and I want to do that for it. So moving on, the VaporShark R DNA 40. VaporShark. Right now I'm rocking the Limo on this. The Limo, whatever you want to call it. This thing is going to have a review of its own, trust me. Ready? And that is off of a dripper. Or off of a RTA. So I just got out of work, so stressful day. We're actually gonna take a drink. Oh yeah, that's so much better. All right, so I wrote down a list of a couple pros, a couple cons. I think I will start with the cons because there's really not that many of them. There are more pros and cons, but some of the cons can outweigh, your decision. First thing is, you notice I don't have the shark skin on it. I normally do. I took it off strictly for this review. I have to leave it on. If I do not leave it on, this battery door is just, let's see if I can get closer. It's just, it falls right off. That's just, I'm barely putting any pressure. The magnets are clean. It shouldn't be doing that. They should have left the screw. That's con number one. Not a huge deal, especially because I do keep the vapor skin on it, or the shark skin on it, but, for people that don't want to use the shark skin, that's something you may have to worry about. Second con that I have, I don't know if it's going to be, I doubt it is, towards the VaporShark itself. It's more towards the DNA 40. I've gotten a couple not error codes, just some funky things with the screen where, unfortunately, at that point I had my shark skin on. I've had to take it off, remove the door, and pull out the battery and put it back in. I took 3 pictures, all 3 different codes. It has happened other times since then, but they were the same one, so I wasn't going to take the same pictures again. But hopefully, because I'm not very good at editing, they will be showing right now. Alright, so hopefully you saw those. I think that's more towards the board. Obviously I don't think that's the VaporShark at all, but that could be a downside to getting this over something like, the Sigelei 100 watt, the IPv3, IPv2, anything like that. I don't know if it's mine specifically, could be, but it's definitely a con. And that's really all for cons. I do have another con. It's a semi-con, semi-pro, depending on how you look at it. The third con is the weight of the device. It is a heavy, heavy device. It feels solid. You know it's there in your hand. You know that it feels expensive. It feels solid. So you can take it as a pro. It's also a con because it's heavy. If you're sitting here and this is your only device that you're using and you have it holding it like this for a while, your hand's going to get, sore, and your arm's going to get tired. So there's that. Take that as you want. All right, so pros. The size. again, extremely small. This with the Limo, which is a 23-inch and a big tank, compared to the Canna or Hanamod with just a K-Fun on it. I mean, it's dwarfing it in size. I know it's not a big, I don't have a screen on that, but, thickness is roughly about the same. Honestly, the VaporShark's a tiny bit thinner, but as far as the overall size, I mean, this feels massive. This just feels so slick and comfortable in your hand. The 510 pin, the adjustable 510 connection, is amazing. It makes perfect contact every time. Every device is sitting flush on it. Connection is amazing. Sitting flush, making perfect contact every time. There's really not much else you can complain about that. So, next one, battery life. I don't know if it's the DNA 40 and if all DNAs were like this before, or if it's that the DNA clone chip that's in the Hanamod was that poor on battery management. This thing is amazing for 118/650 battery. I mean, amazing. My Hanamod, I would take out, go to work with it. I'd be charging it at my desk, vape it only on my breaks and my lunch, and bring it home and vape on it. But, by, say, I get home at 6 o'clock, by 8:30, you could already see a decent size indent in the battery. And that was vaping that at like 14 watts, because it was just rocking a K-Fun on there. All right, so, and that was taking it off the charger at 6 o'clock, basically, fully charged via USB. I never, excuse me, the IPV wasn't much better, so I just never really thought about it. Then I got this. I thought maybe it was the battery, and I did end up changing out the battery and putting a different one in there, a different LG, and a VTC5, but I have the LG one back in here now. It's incredible. If I was rocking my K-Fun on there, and I was rocking it at, 12 watts, I would go from when I wake up, 7 a.m., all throughout the day. I would not charge it at my desk. Vape it all night long. I would throw in my IPV and stuff like that. If I'm using a dripper, I would throw that on the IPV and push it at a higher wattage. So I wasn't using it exclusively, but 90% of the time I was. And I would go to bed, and it was more than 3/4. Today, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I did the same thing. Got up at 7, go to work. With the Limo on here, I've been rocking this at 25 watts. It's got a 1 ohm coil in there. I'm rocking it at 25 watts, and that's one of the reasons why it's, producing such good clouds. But at the same time, having charged this all day, and the battery, focus, is almost full. 25 watts. It is now almost 7 o'clock. So it's been almost 12 hours. I'm not vaping every single second of that 24 hour, or for those 12 hours, but that's incredible. My hand would have been dead, and this still has over 75% left in the battery. That is a pro. That was a long pro, apparently. Next one is step down. Very, very nice to be able to go below 4 volts. If I have a dripper on there and it's a 0.2 ohm and I want to push that at like 3.7 volts, because out of a normal mechanical mod, when you're running it at 0.2 ohms, that's going to be about your voltage drop. So if that's what you're comfortable with, and you don't want it to hit like a freight train, that's what you want, you got that. Quick Pro Crow. Bad joke. Reverse battery protection, that's obviously a pro. Being able to not have to worry about frying the board on a device that you just spent money for, whether it's the VaporShark, whether it's the Vapor Flask, the money you're spending, it's protected by you, being an idiot. One day you get drunk, you're like, oh, I gotta change my battery. I fried my board. Not gonna happen with this. That's a very, very good pro. The last pro I have is the wireless charging. I have yet to charge this via USB. You know, when I go up and I might do one more video on the VaporShark, or I might use it in other videos of showing, you know, my RBAs and the RTAs and RDAs and AAAs and I don't know, all those. I'll probably use the VaporShark, and I will show it to my wireless chargers upstairs. I've been using exclusively the wireless charger. I have yet to need to change a battery. I have changed it just to make sure it wasn't the battery that was somehow amazing. Switching out other batteries, other LGs and Sonys, and it's the same thing. But other than that, I have not needed to charge the battery once. I'm sure if you're vaping it at 40 watts all day long, you're probably going to need to. That's not how I vape. Even running it consistently at 25 watts, not even close to being gonna be dead by the time I go to bed. So, I've been using the wireless charger. Super, super convenient. I literally, especially when you have a tank on it like this, or you know, an RTA, you just set it down, and it's charging. It's the easiest thing. You wake up, you pull it, and you know, it's the easiest thing ever. Quick vape. So that's it. I mean, do I recommend it? Absolutely. Are there cons? Absolutely. There's going to be cons in everything. I know I didn't show much of the VaporShark on this one, and this was mainly me talking. You know, I'm going to try different things, different styles, and see what people like, and what people like, I will try and, you know, go towards that more. I don't think I had much more. The only other thing that I really wanted to talk about, besides the VaporShark, was just showing you what's going to be upcoming in the videos. And I just realized that I think I'm wearing the same shirt as I did before. So I make sure that I'm wearing a different shirt in the next video, because I do own more than one shirt. Just happened to 2 weeks later I'm wearing the same shirt, so yeah. Awkward. Anyway, future reviews, I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to be late to the party on a couple of these. Being somebody new out there, that's going to happen. I don't have the money to go out and buy everything new, you know, that's coming out now. So a lot of stuff I have is stable, is true, and has been reviewed. But if you want my take on it, I will gladly do that. So a couple of things I will be doing is I haven't really seen much of it. I know I showed it in that one video before, but the CL2 or the CLT2 Plus by Infinite, I will be reviewing that. What else do I got here? The other thing I will end up doing with the VaporShark, actually, there we go. That's a perfect roll on there. Is the nickel build. I didn't do my first nickel build on. That's hard to say. Nickel build on camera. I did do it in my K-Fun, and it was garbage. You know, Robert Ellis, if you ever watch him, he had a kind of a little bit of a rant on using the nickel wire and the temperature control, and I can see where he's coming from. You know, in the K-Fun, I think the airflow is not adequate enough, and that's really what you'd want that nickel build in my opinion. Is something you're going to carry around, and you don't have to, you know, it's not going to be a dripper, it's going to be a tank. I might try it in the Limo, because there is so much airflow in this that I have a feeling it's not going to be an issue. Hopefully. The build deck is basically the same as a K-Fun, so, but the nickel wire is a bitch to work with, guys. It really, really is. It is so thin. I'm using 30 gauge, so, but it is so thin. Now, I said I was probably going to do it on the Squape. The Squape I could not find anywhere. A legit Squape reloaded. I could not find it in stock anywhere. I'm not opposed to clones. Obviously, I said I have the Hannah clone. I have a couple clones, you know, with Stellaire, and stuff like that. So what I did was I was like, all right, $175 for a Squape reloaded. That's going to hurt my pocket a little bit. Not going to lie. And I'm not opposed to clones. So from all the reviews I've read, EH Pro has a very good Squape reloaded clone. On eSigety, they carry a logoless Squape reloaded clone, which I am a huge fan of that. I don't want to, walk around pretending it's the legit one. You want it because it works well. You don't have to sit there and brag that you paid $175 for it. So, in my mind, what I did, it still ended up being a little bit less than the Squape Reloaded Authentic, was I got the Limo. I got the Squape Reloaded clone by EH Pro and the 2 decks. So eSiggity just got the extra decks with the wide and the curved. I'm not going to use the curved, but I wanted the wide deck. And my cat's just being berserk. So I got the Squape Reloaded with the 2 decks, and I ended up getting the Freak Show dripper, and very unique with the airflow coming underneath, kind of like the Magma, but different because it's not a single hole. It is a and I can't even. I don't have anything on it. I'm gonna do a review on it. Basically, is what I was saying. But so very unique, very good dripper, good flavor, and good vapor. But anyway, so I got that, which is an authentic, the Limo, which is an authentic, and the Squape Reloaded clone with the decks, and it still cost me less than the authentic Squape. So that's what I did. I still will be trying to do the nickel build on the Squape when I get it. So might not be the very first time. I don't want to go on camera and show you guys a coil and say this is how you do it and have it be junk. I don't want it to be you use that same method and have it be bad. So I want to perfect it before I give it to you, my advice. But anyway, I'm rambling again. This is going to be another long video that I wanted to be very short. Not going to happen apparently. Just making sure I covered everything. I think I did. And amazing vapor from that. So I think that is it. If you want to see more, guys, I will, for those RDAs and the Limo and stuff, I will have a close-up camera working. So we're gonna go closey uppy and all that fun stuff. Other than that, I think that's it. I just want to say VaporShark R DNA. I know I got on a tangent once again, and it is worth the money. It is worth, especially because it's the cheapest DNA 40 mod, and really it is. For the size, for the battery life, for the power that it gives you, the couple things that you have to deal with, and I mean, really, I had 2. I mean, the error codes, I believe, is the DNA 40. So I had the weight, which is a semi-pro, semi-con. The battery door was really the only thing. This thing being so flimsy and not really sticking on there was the only problem I had. So, there you go. Go out and buy one. Now, tell them that I sent you, and maybe they'll send me a free one. And I can give it out for a review. Speaking of which, I will have reviews coming, just so you know. Alright, rambled on enough. Alright, you guys stay safe, keep vaping, stay out the stinkies, and peace.